Harbor on December 7, 1941, when the Japanese attacked on that fatal day. After leaving the Navy in 1946, he attended college at Texas Tech and Texas A&M. He had many different jobs, including part-time college professor, revenue agent, special agent, and finally was a partner in a CPA firm in Lubbock, Texas. Steve married and has 3 children. He later married a beautiful woman named Pearl. They worked together at a CPA firm, sold their firm, and moved to Rapid City in 1993 to retire. Pearl went to be with Jesus in 2004, and Steve missed the love of his life beyond words. Steve filled his retirement since Pearl's death with volunteering at the Sheriff's Department, serving at Westside Baptist Church, and he now attends the Foothills Community Baptist Church. He is an avid reader and keeps up on news daily. Steve believes that honesty, his faith in God, and staying active has contributed to his longevity. Steve would like to thank you for this opportunity to feel young again by throwing out our first pitch at tonight's Post 22 Firecracker Tournament. And now, the people have our Post 22 hard hat players and their special guest tonight. Please come out to the third baseline.
Hi again, everyone. From Fitzgerald Stadium, Post 22 Baseball is on the air here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, and on the internet at Hardhat TV as Post 22 continues play in the Camping World Firecracker Tournament tonight at Fitzgerald Stadium. It is day 4 of the Firecracker, and the standings are beginning to take shape. Post 22 will play a Yakima, Washington team here tonight that is 1-3 so far in the tournament. Post 22 alone on top of the Firecracker standings with a 4-0 record. With Mark Benetti, this is Tom Rudebush. Our director on Hardhat TV is Destin Heumann. A beautiful night for baseball. We have the 4th of July coming up, and we have 4th of July weather here at Fitzgerald Stadium. Yakima lost by a score of 9-0 in the 4:30 game today, and they were a victim of a no-hitter by Nate Kajowski in that game from Premier West in that 9-0. So Yakima is going to be coming off that no-hit, no-run game they had tossed against them. Going into this Hardhat game. Very special ceremonies going on here at the stadium. We've had an introduction, and we're going to get his bio here in just a second. One of our many veterans in this area, 96-year-old gentleman, did a great job throwing out the first ball. We'll have some information on him. Each of the Hardhat players has a veteran with them, and they are all lined up on the third base foul line here as we prepare for the start of tonight's game. And Mark, Post 22 with a win tonight definitely will be in the driver's seat as they will have the lead, and also coming up with a big game against Rocky Mountain tomorrow night.
Well, as of right now, the Hardhats are the last undefeated team in this entire tournament. Eden Prairie had a very, very tough loss earlier today to Rocky Mountain, as you were saying earlier. That's really going to spice things up and stir the pot. So the Hardhats just have to keep to the course, keep to what's working. They're hitting the ball well. They're getting confidence from their pitching. Don't change a single thing with your approach to this game mentally and physically. Everything's working for you right now, so don't go out of your way to try and do anything fancy or cutesy or whatnot. Keep to the simple things, and good things will happen for your club, just like we were seeing. Last night, they played against a very good Premier West team and absolutely blasted them 14-2. And how good is this Premier West team? Again, they no-hit Yakima earlier today, so we know the Premier West team we saw last night wasn't the one that we were looking forward to. That team is much better than its firecracker record and its season record indicates. So the Hardhats wrecked a really good team last night, and now they're looking to do the same tonight to the Yakima club.
Other scores today: Rocky Mountain won 2 games to move to 4-1. They beat Missoula 8-1, and then beat Eden Prairie in that big game by a score of 5-2. Then we saw Mountain West defeat Las Vegas 11-2, and then Premier West 9-0 over Yakima. So the standings look like this going into this game tonight. Post 22 is 4-0. Rocky Mountain is 4-1. Eden Prairie is 3-1. Mountain West and Premier West are each 2-2. Yakima and Missoula are 1-3, and Las Vegas 0-5. So it's post 22, 4-0 against Yakima, 1-3 in our final game today.
Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting lineups while our special pregame ceremonies continue. The Yakima Beetles will battle in the top halves of our 7 innings of regulation we have tonight. Leading off for Yakima is number 8, Isaac Pastrana. He'll patrol center field. Batting second is number 18, Alec Brown. He's out at second base. Batting third is number 17, Hunter Meyer. He's in the hot corner at third. And in the cleanup position is number 5, Jason Burge. He'll patrol right field. Batting fifth is number 6, Dakota Doan, patrolling left field. Batting sixth is number 23, Ricky Mendiola. He's the designated hitter tonight for Yakima. Batting seventh is number 15, Brian Calhoun. He'll play at first base. Batting eighth is number 14, Jaden Martinez. He's the backstopper and catcher. And rounding out the batting order for Yakima in the 9 hole is number 3, Brock Williams. He is the shortstop. Number 11, Parker Sandlin's on the mound tonight for Yakima, and he'll take on the Hardhats as they bat in our bottom halves of our 7 innings of regulation as follows. Leading off is number 11, Walker Paz, as always at his home at second base. Batting second is number 13, Zach Solano, once again patrolling right field. Batting third, number 22, Cooper Bowman out at shortstop. And in the cleanup positions, number 23, Eric Petrie, and he is now back to his normal spot as the designated hitter. Batting fifth is number 21, Timmy Paris. He's the backstopper and catcher. Batting sixth is number 17, Todd Stevens. Tonight they're going to put Todd out in left field. One of the first of few times in quite some time that Todd has patrolled left field. Batting seventh is number 30, Jack Sorensen out at first base. Batting eighth is number 14, Justin Kramer in the hot corner at third. And rounding out the batting order in the 9 hole is number 12, Connor King. He's patrolling center field. On the mound tonight for the Hardhats is a red-hot Colton Sherbinski. And Sherbinski comes in for his 5th start of the year on his 8th appearance of the season. 29 1/3 innings of work under his belt. He has a perfect 5-0 record to defend tonight. 28 strikeouts to 12 walks and a microscopic 0.955 ERA. And what makes Colton so successful? He throws strikes. He is the 3rd best pitcher on the Hardhats roster with respect to first pitch strike percentage at 62.6%, and 71.4% of those first pitch strikes result in outs at the plate or in the field. So Colton Sherbinski, throw strikes, locate the zone, good things happen.
Well, this 4th of July holiday weekend underway, and it's certainly a great time, and it's just a thrill to see these veterans out here and take part in this pregame ceremony here at Post 22. And, of course, American Legion Baseball, authorized by the National American Legion, and along with the VFW, the American Legion, probably the most well-known of our veterans groups in the country. This is kind of I was talking with the Yakima coach before the game, Mark Day, and I made mention to him that this brings back a lot of memories having a Yakima team here, because in 1975, as many of you know and many of you don't know, Yakima played here in the first ever World Series hosted by Post 22. And when you host the World Series, you don't get to play in it as a host team like you do the regional or the state. You have to win your way in. And we hosted the World Series in 1975, and It was a thrill for me, my first big broadcasting assignment with Bob Laskowski, and we did every game in that World Series in 1975, including that championship game. Yakima, Washington won the national title, and Dave Edler was the American Legion Player of the Year, had a fantastic tournament, went on with a career with the Seattle Mariners. And we understand Dave is still living in Yakima. He's a senior pastor. And if by chance Dave would happen to be able to listen to this broadcast or watch it here on Hard to Have TV, I remember you well. And I'm going to try to find the tape of that game, an audio tape that we had made, and give it to Coach Day to take back. But hopefully I can locate that in one of my many boxes in the basement. But we are going to look for that. But anyway, Yakima was a great representative last year. And they actually won the national championship 3 years later also in 78. So they have a lot of history in this program in Yakima. They're about 400 miles farther past Pullman, Washington, where we played here about a week ago.
Well, we have a pregame prayer. We'll also have the presentation of the United States colors and the performance of the United States national anthem. So we'll take a quick recess, folks. When we come back, it's first pitch between the Yakima Beatles out of Yakima, Washington, and your Post 22 Hardhats. Stick around. You're listening to the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
So we're just moments away from the start of tonight's game as we complete Saturday's play here in the Firecracker, but still 2 more big days to go before we have the placement games. Tomorrow we have 5 games with Post 22 taking on Rocky Mountain. What a huge game that's going to be tomorrow night. And Post 22 will play Eden Prairie on Monday night at 7. Those 2 games will determine whether Post 22 makes the final championship game.
And it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out, because when you look at that, the next 2 games could potentially be championship previews, depending on how the rest of the pool plays out. So it'll be good to see. With Rocky Mountain especially, some great competition tomorrow night, the defending champion of this tournament, and obviously the big rivalry matchup with Eden Prairie on Monday night. We are all very much looking forward to the last 2 games of the tournament after tonight. Well, before we get to those games, we have tonight's game to worry about, and that is the Hardhats against the Yakima Beetles. Yakima is out of Washington State. They'll send their first 3 batters up against Colton Sherbinski. That's Isaac Pastrana, the center fielder, Alec Brown, the second baseman, and Hunter Meyer, the third baseman. And again, they're up against Colton Sherbinski, who's had quite a season for the Hardhats, 29 1/3 innings of work under his belt in what will be his 8th appearance of the season and 5th by virtue of a start. He has a perfect 5-0 record under his belt with 28 strikeouts to 12 walks and a microscopic 0.955 ERA. Defensively surrounding him, the Hardhats have him paired up with his battery mate and catcher Timmy Paris. At first is Jack Sorensen. At second, Walker Paz. At shortstop, Scooper Bowman. And in the hot corner at third is Justin Kramer. Left to right in the outfield, Todd Stevens, Connor King, and Zach Solano.
Well, before the game, Steve Pierce Warren threw out the first pitch tonight. He was born in Lubbock, Texas on July 29th. He's got the same birthday I do, July 29th, 1921. He's got a few years on me there. He's 90. He will be 96 years old, and he enlisted in the United States Navy when he was 19 years old. He served in the Navy for 6 years. He was at Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, when the Japanese attacked. And he left the Navy in 1946, and he said that he would like to thank Post 22 for this opportunity to feel young again as he threw out the first pitch. He was, I thought, caught the inside corner. He was about 15 feet in front of the plate. And Steve Pierce Warren, congratulations and thank you for your great service to our nation. 96 years old.
That's young. He still has quite the life ahead of him.
96 years young is what I should have said. So Colton Sherbinski will pitch to Isaac Pastrana, the center fielder for Yakima, the Beetles, here in the top of the first inning. He's a right-handed batter. Here's the motion by Colton, and his first pitch is looped in the right field, and that is going to be trapped by Solano out there. He tried for a shoestring catch, couldn't come up with it, and Yakima, which was no hit in their first game today, has a leadoff single from their first hitter. We're underway at 7:01 this evening here at Fitzgerald Stadium, and our game time temperature 86 degrees.
Well, that's got to feel good for Yakima to get that monkey off their back and get the first hit of the ball game, the first batter, after being no hit by Premier West earlier.
And Sherbinski throws to first base, and Pastrana dives back in. Sorensen holding with the runner at first. Kramer is up to the edge of the grass at third. And the throw to first, it skips past Sorensen. Heading to second is Pastrana, and he'll hold up there.
So unfortunately, just like that, it's the first error of the ball game as Sherbinski throws errantly to first base on the checkdown.
So a runner at second for Yakima here with Alec Brown at the plate. Outfield is straight away. Here's the pitch. And a breaking ball high, ball one. Well, certainly the warmest starting time we've had at home for a game with the temperature at 86. Here's Sherbinski out of the set. His pitch to Brown. He bunts the ball back towards the mound. Sherbinski fields it. And the throw is over Paz's head at first base. That will allow Pastrana to score. Heading to third base is Brown. The throw is there, and he is out. So he'll get credit for a sacrifice. Then we have an error on Sherbinski, his second of the inning. However, Brown tried to go to third base and was thrown out for the first out of the inning, but Yakima takes a 1-0 lead. Brad Tucker is calling the balls and strikes tonight, and Tanner Tucker is the base umpire. Swing and a miss by Hunter Meyer, and it's one strike, the third baseman.
That was a very weird start to this ball game here, Tom. I don't think I've ever seen a game start off like that.
One strike pitch to Meyer. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Two strikes to count. And the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Got him with a fastball. Meyer strikes out. 2 down here in the first inning for Yakima, and that brings up Jason Burge, the right fielder.
Well, good for Colton to rebound the way that he did. 3 quick swings and misses. Just like that, he's got his first K. He's put those 2 errors and the 1 run allowed on those 2 errors behind him, and he's going right back to what he does best.
Swing and a foul back by Burge, 1 strike. Yakima, in the 4 games they have played here in the Firecracker, they're 1-3, and they've scored 18 runs in the 4 games, while allowing 36. Pitches down low and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's a fastball high, and it's 2-1. Outfield is straight away, and Sherbinski's pitch on the way. Strike on the low inside corner, and the count levels off at 2-2. Wind blowing out towards right field again, as the pitch is up and away for ball 3, and it's a full count. Blowing out of the north, any ball hit to right field is going to get a lift tonight. Here's Sherbinski's payoff pitch to Burge, and he missed high and outside. So a runner at first for Yakima with 2 outs. They have a run in here in the top of the first. Dakota Doan, the left fielder, number 5 hitter, steps in, right-handed batter. So Sherbinski now with Sorensen holding with Burge. Here's the pitch. Low and outside for ball 1. One and 0. Here's the pitch. And a strike on the low outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Fouled back to the screen, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sherbinski trying to get out of this first inning, allowing just the 1 run. Now time is called. Doan steps out. Now the set. And the pitch. Swung on, hit down the right field line. Solano giving chase. It's slicing off and landing foul. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Burge back to first base. Here's the set. And the pitch. Swung on, a bouncing ball to the right side, out to Paz at second. He bobbles it for just a moment, but throws to first for the out. Doan retired second to first. So the run against Sherbinski unearned because of his error. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 post-22 errors, and 1 man left on base. At the end of the first half inning here at Fitzgerald Stadium, it's the Camping World Firecracker Tournament. You're listening to ESPN Radio. Rapid City, its post-22 comes to bat, trailing 1-0 here in the bottom of the first inning.
Great faces, great places. Wet paint? Yep. And around here, when great places need a little love, great faces band together. Each year, First Interstate Bank employees help local organizations put a fresh coat of paint on homes of those in need. A small gesture, perhaps, but one that puts smiles on faces and strengthens bonds in the places we serve. First Interstate Bank. It's you and I together.
Parker Sandland is the pitcher for Yakima. He'll be going against a post-22 team that's scoring a lot of runs. We do want to welcome any viewers, listeners we have in Yakima. They're a great Legion baseball town. They were one of the elite programs for many years. They drew great crowds for their home games, much like they do here in Rapid City. And, of course, as we said, won a couple of national championships in the 70s. Post-22 won their national championship in '93. Both programs have produced some Major League ball players, and it's great that they could come out here and make this long trek, about a 20-hour trip for them. Heck, and we thought we had a long trip when we went to Pullman. That was only 16 hours.
Still a very long one, a little too long. But I'm used to those long trips with the hockey team, but they go by much quicker because we don't stop nearly as often. Parker Sandland's on the mound for Yakima. He's going to take on the top 3 in the Hardhats batting order, and Walker, Paz, Zach Solano, and Cooper Bowman. Surrounding Parker Sandland defensively for Yakima, he's paired up with his catcher, Jaden Martinez. At first is Brian Calhoun, second Alec Brown, shortstop Brock Williams. In the hot corner at third, Hunter Meyer. Left to right in the outfield, Dakota Doan, Isaac Pastrana, and Jason Burge.
First pitch, a strike at the knees to Paz, and it's 0-1. Walker hitting .409 on the season. 2 homers and 27 RBIs. He bounces a foul just outside of first. And the count is 0-2. Walker 14 doubles on the season. Trails Timmy Paris by 1 in that category. 2 triples. Left-handed batter, the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, hit to the right of the second baseman. He's over to field it. Brown turns, throws to first in time. Paz hit the ball fairly sharply, but the second baseman Brown stumbled a bit as he got to the ball, moving to his right. And he throws out Paz second to first. That brings up Zach Solano hitting .386. 6 home runs for Zach. He's had a lot of RBIs the last few games. He's up to 49 on the season. He hits a bouncing ball to the left of the shortstop, and Williams can't reach it. It's on into center field. So Solano hits the first pitch for a base hit. And that'll bring up Cooper Bowman.
Zach had a monster day yesterday in the doubleheader, going 5 for 6 with 3 RBI hits. And now he's 6 for 7 in his last 3 games played in this tournament. So good on him to keep the momentum rolling.
Hardhats leading hitter stepping in, Cooper Bowman at .458. Leading the team in homers with 7, RBIs with 55. Solano leads from first. The pitch is a strike called, and it's 0-1. Outfield straightaway on Cooper. Here's the pitch, and it's high for a ball. 1-0. Yakima leading here as Post 22 bats in the bottom half of the first inning. Solano leads from first. He goes. He got a great jump. The pitch is a strike, and the throw to second not nearly in time. That delayed takeoff by Solano as he steals second base.
That's his 18th stolen base on the season. He's only been caught stealing once, 18 for 19. That's a heck of a stealing clip.
1-2 now, the count on Cooper Bowman. Here's the set by Sandlin. His pitch is down low for a ball. It's 2-2. Cooper, who has 12 doubles, 5 triples, leads the team in extra base hits with 24, takes a strike on the outside corner at the knees, and Bowman is caught looking. So 2 down here in the first inning for Post 22. Here's Eric Petrie, the designated hitter, hitting .379. Eric with 6 home runs, 31 RBIs. And the pitch, a strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Eric, who played in left field last night in the DH role here this evening. The 0-1 pitch, swung on, line to right for a base hit. Burge lets the ball get past him. That will allow Solano to score. He would have scored anyway, but it allows Petrie to take second base. RBI single for Eric, his 32nd RBI. Error on the right fielder Burge, allowing Petrie to go to second. And we're tied 1-1 here in the bottom of the first inning.
The most fun thing about baseball is that sometimes this is a game of call and response, or a show of anything you can do, I can do better. And before you know it, the Hardhats are down 1-0. They fire right back. The exact same as last night when Premier West took an early lead, and they just started firing back.
Timmy Paris up, hitting .309, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. 2 home runs for Timmy, 40 RBIs, leads the team in doubles with 15. So Petrie now, the go-ahead run at second base with 2 out. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, hit the third, and it's past the third baseman, Meyer. Into left field, Petrie will score from second base. And the Hardhats take the lead now, 2-1. So it'll be a base hit for Petrie, or for, well, let's see what they put up on the board.
I think they did rule it a hit. I was just trying to, well, no, actually, we still don't have that determination. No, they're calling it an error, an E5.
Aaron Meyer, the third baseman, so it's 2-1 Rapid City with Paris at first, and now the courtesy runner for Timmy going into first base as Todd Stevens comes up. Todd hitting .448, 1 home run, 13 RBIs. He's got 13 hits and 29 at-bats, and takes a pitch low and outside. It's ball 1. And the pitch, swing and a miss. Breaking ball away, and it's 1-1.
Todd's been hitting with a lot of confidence as of recently, and I like that because he doesn't make the batting order often, but when he's in there, he makes sure to get his licks in.
1 ball and 1 strike. There goes the runner. The pitch is swung on, hit up in the air to center field. Pastrana is there, and he has it for the third out. Stevens flies to center. 2 runs for Post 22 in the first inning. They had 2 hits in the inning. There were 2 Yakima errors and 1 man left on base. So 1 complete. Post 22 has bounced back, and they now lead by a score of 2-1 over the Yakima Beetles at the end of the first inning. We're at the Camping World Firecracker Tournament. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio, Rapid City. want to make a mention here because this is coming up. It'll be here sooner than we think, but coming up on July 11th is our annual Dining on the Diamond with the spaghetti supper served here at Fitzgerald Stadium. That's Tuesday, July 11th. Tuesday, July 11th from 5 to 7 p.m., the annual spaghetti feed. Ricky Mendelola, the designated hitter.
Moving on for Yakima, the designated hitter, number 23, Ricky Mendiola.
Mendiola's a right-handed batter. Here's Sherbinski's pitch. And it's low with a fastball for ball one. 6, 7, and 8 hitters here against Colton to start the second. Here's the pitch on the way. And he checks his swing. The pitch is down low again, and it's 2-0. Two balls and no strikes on Mendiola. Outfield is straight away. The pitch on the way is swung on and fouled off to the right out of play. 2 balls and a strike. Sherbinski, very deliberate here in his work in the first couple of innings. Swings into the windup now. Here's his pitch. And it's a strike on the outside corner. 2-2 on Mendiola. Yakima scoring a run on a hit in the first inning, but we're helped out by 2 Rapid City errors. Here's Sherbinski's 2-2 pitch on the way, and it's a fastball outside, and it's a full count. Best crowd of the season here tonight at Fitzgerald Stadium, and I think they'll just be getting better as we go through this firecracker tournament. Weather looks great. Payoff pitch is wide for ball 4. Colton just doesn't look smooth right now early in this game. He's walked 2 now. And here's Brian Calhoun, the first baseman.
He's walked 2. He's committed 2 errors. Definitely not the Colton Sherbinski that you and I know. So it'd be nice to see him just calm down, go back to the simplicity of what makes him such a good pitcher. Throw strikes, hit the zone, let your defense take care of things, and strike people out.
Calhoun around the bunt, takes the bat back, and the pitch is down low for ball 1.
I said earlier in the pregame show talking about Colton, a lot of times he throws a first pitch strike. He's number 3 on the team, 62.6% first pitch strike percentage. And 71.4% of the time, that results in an out when he registers that first strike. He loves to pound the zone. It's not often that he walks batters. Again, he came into the game with 28 strikeouts to 12 bases on balls and an ERA of under 1. So we know Colton's capable of better baseball. It's just it's a poise thing right now. Going back to what you've talked about numerous times in this tournament, it's just poise and control. So get that poise back. Get that confidence back on the mound.
1 ball and no strikes on Calhoun as Sorensen holds with Mendiola at first base. Here's the pitch on the way. It's popped up on a bunt attempt, back and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the top of the second. The Hardhats lead Yakima 2-1. The Beatles have a runner at first base and nobody out. Infield double play depth. 42 double plays in the season for Post 22. The pitch is high and tight. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
It's an interesting approach for Yakima here to try and go to small ball with Calhoun trying to bunt here.
Here's the set by Sherbinski. The 2-1 pitch. It's high, and it's ball 3. 3-1 the count.
Now, I see what Colton's trying to do. He's trying to force what happened on that first foul. He's trying to throw an odd pitch so that the ball comes off the bat awkwardly, but at this point, you're behind 3-1. The batter is sacrificing himself. Give him something that he can bunt to put into play so that you don't risk another base on balls.
3-1. Here's the pitch on the way. It's popped up, back and out of play again on an attempted sacrifice, and it's a full count now. Boy, we have seen some leather in the fans in this tournament. We've had several good catches.
Sign him up.
A full count on Calhoun. Big pitch here for Sherbinski. He's walked the leadoff man. He's got a 3-2 count on Calhoun, who's not been able to lay down the bunt. Here's the payoff pitch, swung on and foul, back and out of play. Still 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes on Calhoun. Here's the set by Sherbinski. His pitch is high and outside for ball 4. Runners at first and second for Yakima. Nobody out. And Jaden Martinez coming up, the catcher.
Now you'd have to think Martinez is going to bunt. If with no outs and only a man on first, Calhoun was going to set up to bunt. Martinez will bunt to knock them both over in scoring position.
Sorensen thinks they're going to bunt. He's in on the grass at first. Kramer in on the grass at third. Here's the set by Sherbinski. Martinez, a right-handed batter, bunts the ball foul off to the right. 1 strike. This drives the coach nuts.
Absolutely it does, because the sacrifice bunt should be one of the easiest things that you teach. There's nothing really complex to it outside of you just let the ball fall off of your bat. You don't try and push unless you're adept at that, like Justin Kramer is for the Hardhats, to bunt for a hit. But at this point, keep it simple. Just let the ball bounce off your bat, take the sacrifice, move the guys over.
Here's the 1-strike pitch. This ball is bunted foul at the plate, and the count is 0-2. So now Martinez has an 0-2 count.
This is insane, Tom. Back-to-back batters who just can't get this bunt down.
Well, now the question is, can Colton throw some strikes?
Right.
2 bunt attempts, 2 strikes on Martinez. Mendiola at second, Calhoun at first. Nobody out here in the top of the second for Yakima. Post 22 with a 1-run lead. Sherbinski from the stretch. The 0-2 pitch is swung on, hit to the second baseman and off the glove of Paz. It trickles out into center field. Here comes Mendiola around third. He comes to the plate and scores. And it's a 2-2 game. Martinez with a base hit and an RBI. Great effort by Paz. Couldn't quite reach it. Flicked off his glove. And the runners at first and second.
If Walker made that catch and got the double play off of it with a shovel throw to Bowman at second, I would have called up ESPN and SportsCenter in a heartbeat, because that would have been one heck of a web jam. Unfortunately, just off by maybe even a fraction of an inch. But a great attempt nonetheless by Walker Paz, and all of a sudden, we've got a ball game on our hands. We're knotted up at deuces.
Here's Brock Williams up the shortstop, right-handed batter. Calhoun at second, Martinez at first. Again, the corners are in. Sorensen at first, Kramer at third. Let's see if he's bunting. He's around the bunt. He pushes it, foul at the plate, 1 strike. Yakima's got a run in here in the second. They've tied the game 2-2. 2 walks from Sherbinski and an RBI single for Martinez. They failed to bunt, and it hasn't cost them at all. In fact, it's helped them out when Martinez got a base hit. 1 strike on Williams. Here's a pickoff play at second, and Colton throws it into center field. Heading to third. Here comes the throw there, not in time, and now down to second goes Martinez. So the Hardhats making some really fundamental mistakes here, not only on that error there by Colton, but then Connor had no chance to throw Calhoun out at third base, but he threw to third, and that allowed the runner Martinez to go to second.
So now they don't even need the sacrifice bunt. They can have Williams just swing away here all of a sudden, 2 runners in scoring position, and you didn't have to sacrifice to do anything.
1 strike count. The pitch on the way is swung on and missed. And it's now no balls and 2 strikes.
Now, if you're Colton here, you absolutely need to get this out at the plate because any sharp hit ball, whether it's a base hit or a fly ball, will most likely score the runner at third. So you absolutely need an out at the plate here.
2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul back. Williams hangs in, the number 9 hitter, with a count of 2 strikes. Calhoun at third and Martinez at second. Still nobody out. Outfield is straight away on Williams. Infield is back. 2 strikes to count. The pitch on the way. He struck him out. A fastball in tight. And Sherbinski gets his second strikeout. So there's the first out here in the second inning. Here's Isaac Pastrana, the center fielder, up. He singled to right his first at bat and came around and scored. Here's the pitch, and it's high and inside for ball 1.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head, Tom, when the last game was that the Hardhats had 3 errors. And I'd have to even think back to before the long road trip. It's been a while.
1 ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch. Strike on the inside corner, knee high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And not to mention it's 3 errors, and we're not even through 2 full innings yet, and all 3 of them are against Colton too, so that can't be easy to deal with.
1-1. Here's the set. Sherbinski's pitch is swung on and missed by Pastrana, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, I'm going to say what I did the last batter. Colton really needs an out at the plate here because the sacrifice fly is still in effect to score the go-ahead run here for Yakima, and I think that's what Timmy Paris is talking to him about right now. So if you're Colton, come back with what's worked for you. Just throw strikes, hit that zone. Your velocity is still on point. Your location might not be at this point, but your velocity still is. So if you want to go for the high fastball, you've got a couple of pitches to play with at a 1-2. Why not go for it? Try and get that swing and a miss unless you feel confident in your breaking pitch to get the backwards K.
One and 2 on Pastrana. Here's the set by Sherbinski. A long look in the pitch. High and inside, a fastball. 2-2. What's Colton's pitch count up to here?
Colton just threw his 41st pitch of this start.
And there's 1 out here in the second inning. Here's Sherbinski now ready. He delivers. Swung on a fly ball into left center field. That's a long run for King, and he won't get to it. It bounces up off the fence. In fact, goes over the fence for a ground rule double. So that'll score Calhoun and Martinez and put Yakima ahead 4-2. And Pastrana has a 2-run double to left center field, and he's 2 for 2.
Colton just left that one over the plate. Good timing by Pastrana. Great swing. No doubter.
Here's Alec Baldwin. Alec Brown. And the pitch is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. He was credited with a sacrifice bunt in the first inning. You and I are having quite a battle here with... There's a swing and a miss. This fly, I keep shifting him over to you, and you keep sending him back to me. Would you send him over to Destin? How can one fly cause so much commotion? 1 ball and 1 strike on Alec Brown. Pastrana leads from second. The pitch is a strike at the knees. 1-2 the count. Three runs in here in the second for Yakima, and they lead 4-2. Sherbinski delivers. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Third strikeout for Sherbinski. 2 down. And it brings up Hunter Meyer, the third baseman. Myers struck out swinging. Here's Sherbinski's pitch and a swing and a miss. Strike 1.
Nice off-speed pitch there from Sherbinski, throwing towards Meyer. He got him to strike out on 3 pitches last time, swinging and missing. Let's see if he can recreate it. He's already 1/3 of the way there.
Yakima has 3 hits in the game. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Sherbinski's walked 3. Post 22 has committed 3 errors, all from Colton. Here's the pitch on the way, and he hits a high foul out of play to the right. Count runs along at 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes. Meyer at the plate. Pastrana at second base. Brad Tucker has to go over to get some more baseballs from the Rapid City first base dugout. This is not like the majors, where if you get the tiniest little dirt mark on a ball, it's left. No balls and 2 strikes. Sherbinski from the set delivers, and Meyer takes it. Strike 3 called. Brad Tucker, I'll tell you one thing, he could be a little bit more prompt in some of his balls and strike calls, because the third baseman, Kramer, and the base runner went sliding into third. It was such a delayed call there at the plate. You hate to see a player slide and get hurt for no reason at all. 3-run score on 2 hits. There was a post 22 error and 1 man left on base, and Yakima has taken the lead 4-2 over the Hardhats here as we head to the bottom of the second. From the ESPN Radio Rapid City and the Anytime Auto Sales press box, you're listening to Post 22 Baseball.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
Okay, it's Jack Sorensen for Post 22 here in the last half of the second. Lower third of the Post 22 batting order. Jack hitting .333 on the season with 3 home runs and 30 RBIs. And the pitch is swung on and missed from Parker Sandlin. No balls and a strike.
Bit of a late swing for Jack there on that breaking pitch, so a good pitch from Sandlin to take away the vision of Jack at the plate.
0-1 pitch, and it's low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch, swing and a foul down the right field line, twisting towards the bullpen and out of play. 1-2 now on Sorensen. Post 22 hasn't seen a team do this too often to them. When they score first, Post 22 came back with 2 runs, but then Yakima counterpunched quickly with 3 runs in the second and took the lead back here at 4-2. Here's the 1-2 to Sorensen. Swung on, rolled towards short, and it's off the chest of the shortstop Williams, and Sorensen will be on the error.
Tell you what, Tom, this is a pretty sloppy game here in these opening stages. 6 errors combined between both teams. And like I said at the top half of this inning, we still haven't played a full 2 frames yet. Yikes.
You know, that particular ball we see played so often by Cooper Bowman so properly. I mean, he would go after that ball immediately and get that short hop. And Williams let the ball play him a little bit there. He wasn't really aggressive coming in on it. Pitch is a strike at the knees to Justin Kramer, hitting .390, 3 homers and 27 RBIs for Justin. And he's had a hot stick here the last 3 or 4 games. Third baseman Meyer up on the grass at third. The pitch is swung out, a bouncing ball deep short, backhanded by Williams. The long throw to first, on target for the out. Nice play there by Williams, the shortstop for Yakima. Sorensen advancing to second on the play, and there's 1 out. Here's Connor King, the center fielder, hitting .246. Left-handed batter, 2 home runs and 24 RBIs. Sandlin's pitch is a ball down low, and it's 1-0.
Don't let that 246 batting average fool you, because Connor's hitting .324 with runners in scoring position, which is exactly where he has Jack Sorensen right now.
He bluffs the bunt, takes a breaking ball inside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Center fielder Pastrana a few steps towards right center field on the left-handed batting Connor King, who bounces this one up the middle, and the shortstop and the second baseman collide. They are injured. The ball is picked up by the center fielder in shallow center field as Sorensen scores. It'll be a base hit for King and an RBI, but the shortstop Williams, the second baseman Brown colliding out behind second base, and Brown really went to the dirt quickly. He is holding his knee, his left knee.
That's an unfortunate miscue there, Tom, and I don't know who's calling off the other. Normally that's up to the shortstop to call off, because it looked like he was going to get to the ball before the second baseman would, and it was the shortstop in Williams who really took the brunt of that collision. So you got to hope that both of those gentlemen are okay, but that's a very unfortunate miscue, because not only did it lead to injury, it also led to a run scoring as well. So that I think it would have been a tough play to get Connor out anyway, because he got a really good jump out of the batter's box. But it's unfortunate to see that, once again, another miscue in this ball game for either side has resulted in an injury in this case.
Well, Williams went a long way, the shortstop. He was to the left of second base. And, of course, he had the momentum going towards first. Brown is being helped up now. At least he's sitting up. And it looks like he's going to be standing up here, and it looks like he's going to be okay. Well, that was Williams, the shortstop, who was the last man up. He was actually farther to the right of the bag than the second baseman was.
They're ruling that a hit, by the way, Tom, for Connor King.
Oh, yeah. That had to be a hit. Well, the guys are up and kind of walking around out there, and boy, this is just great to see. No serious injuries, apparently, to either player. Crowd gives them a nice hand. Post 22 trainer Christina was out there to attend to both players. And so it's 4-3 now, as King gets credit for a single, his 25th RBI. He's at first base. Walker Paz will be the hitter.
Connor has a lot of speed on the base path. We've already seen 2 post-22 runners go for second base. Connor's 9 for 9 on stolen bases right now, so don't be surprised to see him go for his 10th of the year here.
Walker grounded out to second, his first at bat. Here's the pitch, and it's in for a strike. 0-1 on pause. Parker Sandlin sets and delivers. Breaking ball bounced quick to Hopper, out to Brown, throws to second for one, on to first base for a double play. Nicely turned, look at that. Brown starts the double play to shortstop Williams, to first baseman Calhoun, and they come back from being shaken up and turn a double play to end the post-22 second inning. 4-6-3, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and nobody left on base. So 1 run for post-22. They cut the lead to 4-3 for Yakima as we head to the 3rd inning. From the Anytime Auto Sales press box, you're listening to Post-22 Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Why do so many business people trust us? Well, we're pretty nice folks, of course, and we really know our stuff. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
To complete here, and it's 4-3. Yakima leading with 4 runs, 3 hits, 3 errors. And the Hardhats have 3 runs, 3 hits, and 3 errors. Yakima was no hit in the 4:30 game by Premier West, 9-0, as Nate Kajowski threw the no-hitter for Premier West. Earlier, a big game saw Rocky Mountain knock off Eden Prairie 5-2, handing Eden Prairie their first loss. Vegas remains winless. Mountain West beat them 11-2. And Rocky Mountain beat Missoula 8-1. Sherbinski throws a breaking ball over for a strike to Jason Burge, the right fielder. He walked his first at bat. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Four, 5, and 6 hitters here against Sherbinski. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's low and inside. 1-2 the count. One ball, 2 strikes. The pitch on the way is on the outside corner at the knees. Strike 3 called. 5th strikeout for Sherbinski now, and that's his 3rd strikeout in a row.
And his 4th in the last 5 that he's faced as well. So now we're starting to see what Colton really brings to the table on the mound.
Dakota Doan up, the left fielder. Right-handed batter, grounded out to second, his first at bat. And Sherbinski's pitch. Fastball right in there for a strike.
Keep in mind, Tom, the last start that Colton had was against the Washington A's, the final game of pool play in the Palouse Summer Series. Gave up 2 hits, and then he retired everyone after that. 15 consecutive batters. Had he not given up those 2 hits, he would have had a perfect game on his hands. That's how perfect he was. So maybe this is just what we're seeing again.
1 ball and 1 strike now the count. And Sherbinski's pitch. Low and away, gets away from Paris, and it's 2-1. In the first 4 games for post-22 in the tournament, they had given up only 8 runs. And they've given up 4 here. And we're only in the 3rd inning here as Yakima bats. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And it's too high, and it's ball 3. Sun is still a factor for the outfielders in the left side of the infield. There's a big bouncer to Cooper Bowman, and the ball skips past him into left field. That took a funny spinning hop. And instead of bouncing true, it spun off to the left. And they're going to charge an error on Bowman.
It also looked like the sun was possibly playing a factor as well, Tom, like you had said, because Bowman, he got into his normal stance of how he was going to field the ball, and then he even kind of threw his hands up like, okay, well, wait, where is it? So I think the sun did play a factor just like you said it would for that left side of the infield. So another unfortunate error.
Ricky Mendiola comes up, and he walked his first time up and scored in the second inning. 4 post-22 errors now in the game. 49 errors on the season. Here's the pitch, and it's high, and it's 2-0. For most of the season, post-22 and their errors were about a 1-to-1 ratio. Now the errors have reached 49, and the double plays only 42. Doan leads from first. The pitch to Mendiola. Low for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. And the pitch in for a strike, 3-1 now. You said it earlier, this has been a very odd start to this game in so many ways, offensively, defensively, and pitching-wise. Not much more you can do. 3-1 pitch is swung on, driven out into center field. Connor King roams to his left to make the catch over towards right center field. Dean will hustle back to first. So Mendiola is retired. 2 down here in the Yakima third, and it brings up Brian Calhoun, the first baseman.
And you talk about those weird sequences of events. Calhoun tried to bunt earlier, ended up getting walked. He failed to bunt on a couple of times and somehow got a base on balls out of it. So it's, like we've said, it's been pretty interesting.
Well, then Martinez, the on-deck hitter, did the exact same thing. He couldn't bunt, but he singled in a run. 2 outs and a runner at first. The pitch to Calhoun is driven to right field, and that is going to be in for a base hit. Solano fields it over near the foul line, heading to third, and being a dead duck at third base is Doan. He's being run back to second and tagged out by Walker Paz. Well, Zach Solano hit the cutoff man perfectly, which set up the throw to third base, and Doan got trapped in a rundown. He would have been out by 25 feet. It's a single for Calhoun, but they failed to score in the third inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 Rapid City error, and 1 man left on base. 2.5 innings of play here at Fitzgerald Stadium. Yakima Beetles 4, post-22 Hardhats 3 from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box. You're listening to Post-22 Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRAS IPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701.
Zach Solano leading off here in the last half of the third against Parker Sandlin, the Yakima right-hander who throws a breaking ball, and it's low for a ball, 1-0. Zach singled to center. Scored in the first inning. Here's Sandlin into the windup in his pitch. Hard ground ball to short, and it's knocked down by Williams, but the ball gets away from him again. Solano's on in the air. Boy, it's amazing, though. Williams had him played perfectly. He was pulled over towards the hole by about 5 or 6 feet more than normal, and Solano hit the ball right to him, but again, he kind of let the ball come to him, and it didn't take the hop he had thought. Went off his chest for an error.
4 errors on either side now.
Here's Cooper Bowman. And the pitch low and outside for ball 1. Cooper called out on strikes his first time up. Solano, the tying run at first base here in the last half of the third inning. There he goes. The pitch is a ball. The throw to second is in time. Solano is out 2-4. Close play at second base. Good tag by Brown. And he showed the ball quickly to the umpire, which helped to sell that. And Solano caught for the second time this season after stealing for second base in the first inning. Pitch to Bowman, low and outside. 3 balls and no strikes. And the 3-0 pitch. Right in there for a strike. Sandlin hasn't walked anyone so far. He's recorded 1 strikeout. He's given up 3 hits. There's a swinging strike, and it's a full count, 3-2 on Cooper Bowman.
Very surprised Cooper went after that pitch. That was low and way low and inside.
3 balls, 2 strikes as Sandlin into his windup. The payoff pitch is strike 3 called at the knees. Second strikeout for Sandlin. 2 down, and it brings up Eric Petrie, the designated hitter.
And both of them are to Cooper Bowman, and both of them are virtue of window shopping. That's 2 backwards Ks. That's very uncharacteristic of Cooper.
Petrie singled to right to drive in a run his first time up and takes a pitch down in the dirt for ball 1.
And keep in mind, too, in that battle with Bowman, Bowman was way ahead. 3 balls, no strikes. And still got rung up.
4-3 Yakima leading here in the last half of the third as Petrie takes a pitch down in the dirt. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Parker Sandlin goes 6'1", 185 pounds, and he misses outside a ball. Just completed his senior year in high school. Here's the 3-0 pitch. High and tight for ball 4. There's his first walk, and Petrie is down to first base with 2 outs here in the third. And the hitter will be Timmy Paris. Timmy reached on an error his first at bat. Petrie, the tying run at first base with 2 outs. Calhoun will hold with him. And a toss to first base. Here's the set now by Sandlin. And his pitch. Outside. One ball, no strikes on Paris. And the pitch. Swinging a foul off to the right. 1-1.
Please return that foul ball to the ticket booth for $1. Sponsored by Hot Breakfast Service Daily.
Man, that foul ball is worth $1.
It used to be 25 cents. That just shows you what inflation does.
1-1 pitch is high and outside a ball. I was talking with Shelley Daly about that yesterday. She runs the ticket office for Post 22, and on certain games they increase the amount through sponsorships of the reward for a foul ball. There's a hard ground ball to short. Scooping this one up is Williams, and he flips to Brown at second for the force out. Retires Post 22 in the third. But anyway, 40 years ago they were giving quarters away for baseball, so the inflation in baseballs is up and down. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. We head to the 4th in Yakima. Trying to pull an upset here. They lead Post 22 by a score of 4-3 from the Anytime Auto Sales press box and ESPN Radio.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots! He scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1949.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1949.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills.
Fastball. Martinez, Williams, and top of the order, Pastrana due up in this inning. 1 ball, no strikes to count. And Sherbinsky deals to Martinez. That misses low. 2 balls, no strikes. A very uncharacteristic game for both sides. 8 combined errors, split down the middle, 4 aside. 2-0. Misses low. 3 balls, no strikes from Sherbinsky. And 3 of those errors are on Sherbinsky. They're all throwing errors. 2 pickoff attempts that went awry. And then a sacrifice bunt was dropped, and the runner ended up reaching on an overthrow. 3-0 is a called strike on a fastball outside corner. The knees of Martinez. 3 balls and a strike now the count. Sherbinsky hoping to avoid another free pass. He has 3 of them so far in this start. 3-1, swung on, and it's hit sharply to second by an outstretched pause and into right for a base hit. So Solano comes in and throws to his cutoff man and pause. It's a leadoff single from Martinez. He's 2 for 2 on the ball game. A pair of 1-baggers, and that's going to bring up Brock Williams, the shortstop. Williams, if you recall, was involved in that massive collision at second, trying to field a ball with his second baseman and Alec Brown. Both gentlemen are all right, and it's good to see that Williams is taking swings once again. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Has a man on first and no one out here in the top of the 4th, and Sherbinsky, a check down, is there in time. Last 2 times Sherbinsky tried that, it didn't go nearly as smoothly. Here comes the first pitch to Williams. He shows bunt. He drops it. It's fair. No, they're saying foul. The home plate umpire didn't wave his arms. He just pointed to home plate. The field umpire waved his arms. So they are calling it a foul ball. Ball went off the plate, 0-1. I have to echo the sentiment that you presented earlier. I kind of wish some of these signals and calls were a little more deliberate from the umpires.
Just wait.
Here comes the 0-1. Bunt is showed, bunt is dropped. Trubinsky comes in to field it. He gets it. The toss to first is low, but it's scooped by Sorensen, and it's in time. So it's a 1-3 sacrifice that allows Martinez to move to scoring position. So man on second, one out. That'll bring us to Isaac Pastrana. And I got to say, there's a lot of small ball being played right now, or at least trying to be played right now by Yakima.
That was the strangest throw to first base I've seen by a pitcher in a sacrifice. I don't know what Colton was doing. He started running towards first, then he kind of, like he was throwing a shot put or something, and then threw the ball at the feet of Sorensen. So Colton just looks out of sync tonight.
Is there a full moon? Is there supposed to be a full moon tonight? That probably explains it. Back to the top of the order, we go to Isaac Pastrana, 2 for 2 with a single and a 2-run RBI ground rule double. And he looks at a first pitch strike from Trubinsky. No balls and a strike the count. He has a man on second and one out. And a very well-hit ball to get that ground rule double. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. On a pitch low in the dirt. The count goes to 0-2. So Trubinsky getting him with the breaking ball away. No balls, 2 strikes the count. Trubinsky's looking for his 6th strikeout of the start. He's gone 3 1/3 innings, allowed 4 runs on 5 hits with 4 errors behind him. 0-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. And there is his 6th K in the book. 2 down, a man on second. That'll bring us to Alec Brown, the second baseman.
It's been such a schizophrenic start for Colton, too, because certain batters he's looked unhittable. Then he's had batters he's thrown a ton of pitches to. And, of course, 3 fielding errors.
He checks the runner at second twice. First pitch to Brown. Misses low for ball 1.
And, of course, we compare Colton because of all his great starts previously this season. We hold him to that standard like he's supposed to be throwing almost perfect baseball every time out. So the key here is to struggle, but to get through it.
1 ball, no strikes the count. He makes a motion to second and steps off the rubber. Brown, who's facing him right now, is 0 for 1. He was credited, as Tom mentioned, with a sacrifice earlier in the top of the first. However, he advanced to second on a throwing error by Trubinsky. He airmailed it over Sorensen, and then he struck out his last time up. Next pitch, swung on, hit right back to Trubinsky. He's going to go for the lead runner. His throw's off track, and he's safe. And Trubinsky can't believe it. He had him dead to rights.
Well, why throw to third? There are 2 outs. All you do is throw the ball to first.
And another miscue. And that is the 5th error of the ball game on post 22 and the 4th one charged to Trubinsky. Wow. So Martinez is now 90 feet away from giving Yakima a 5th run. They're up 4-3. Men on the corners and 2 outs. It'll bring up Hunter Meyer. And he checks to first, and nothing happens. I don't know how else to explain it, Tom. This is something else.
Well, I just, again, where's your focus in the game? There's 2 outs. The guy hits a comebacker to you.
First pitch, way outside. 1-0 here to Meyer. Meyer is 0 for 2. He struck out twice. So if there's anything going for Trubinsky in this current sequence of events, that's it. He was the 1st and 4th strikeout out of 6 that he's recorded. Meyer has men on the corners and 2 outs, top of the 4th. It's 4-3 Yakima. 1-0 from Trubinsky. Outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Jason Burge, the right fielder, is on deck if we get that far. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a backwards K. Trubinsky looks at his man on third. Here's his 2-0 pitch. That's a called strike at the belt of Hunter Meyer, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. If Meyer's the last out, the Hardhats have 6, 7, and 8 up. Todd Stevens, Jack Sorensen, and Justin Kramer. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3 balls and a strike. Trubinsky's hoping to avoid his 4th base on balls. 3-1, men on the corners and 2 outs. Top of the 4th, post 22 down by 1. And the 3-1's low and away, ball 4. So there's his 4th base on balls of this start. And it will load up the bases and bring up Jason Burge. And Tom, I hate to say it, but if this doesn't work out for Colton right now, then the play of the game, or the lack of a play of the game, was that miscue throwing to third.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
So now Stravinsky's really in a bind. Bases are loaded, 2 outs. First pitch to Burge is outside, ball 1. Stravinsky has 4 walks in this start. And now the pitching coach, Jason Hers, is going to come out and walk Colton through a psychiatry session here, I guess. I don't know. And you can see the frustration, too, on Coach Hers' face here, Tom. He's quite frustrated, and I don't blame him at this point, honestly, because Colton is so capable of so much better baseball.
Well, there's nobody more frustrated than Colton Stravinsky. And I said it earlier in the game. To me, Colton just didn't look. He looked out of sync. He just didn't look like Colton Stravinsky, and he's done it both physically and mentally in the game. And let's see if we can get out of this inning.
1-0 to Burge, a called strike on an off-speed pitch, and the count evens up at 1-1. Burge again is 0 for 1 with a base on balls and a backwards K in the book. That was the 5th of 6 that Colton's racked up in this start. Just looking at that stat line, Tom put it perfectly. This is a very schizophrenic start. 1-1. Josh missed low, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Colton has 6 strikeouts, but he has 4 walks. He's committed 4 of the 5 post-22 errors. I mean, he's sort of gotten the job done. 6 strikeouts does speak for itself, but everything else you just can't explain. Bases are loaded here for Burge, and now time is called. So it's bases loaded for Burge. There's 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Post-22 trails 4-3. They're trying to keep it that way. Burge has a 2 balls and a strike count. On first is Meyer, second's Brown, third's Martinez. 2-1 from Stravinsky. Swung on, and the ball's fisted to first. And Sorensen gets it in foul territory, and that will end what could have been utter chaos for post-22. No runs were scored on 1 hit with 1 error charged, and the bases were left loaded. We've officially completed half of regulation. Post-22 still trails 4-3. Todd Stevens, Jack Sorensen, Justin Kramer due up. You're listening from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box to ESPN Radio Rapid City, the official radio home of Post-22 Hardhats Baseball.
You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
Brilliant performance of God Bless America helps the Hardhats transition from defense to offense as we get set for the bottom half of the 4th inning. We're at halftime of this ball game, if you will. 3.5 out of 7 regulation innings have been played. And Post 22 still finds itself behind Yakima, Washington, and the Beatles, 4-3, heading into this bottom half of the fourth. Numbers across the board through half of our game. For Yakima in the driver's seat, 4 runs on 5 hits with 4 errors on defense. And on the other side for the Hardhats, it's 3 runs on 3 hits with 5 blemishes in the field. And 5 of those errors, 4 of them, have come from Colton Trubinsky on the mound. It has been very interesting ball game, to say the least. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudebush alongside you for all the action here at the Firecracker Tournament. Post 22 is 4-0. They're looking for their 5th win in this round-robin section of the tournament. Yakima was no-hit earlier today by Premier West, the team out of Denver, Colorado. 9-0 was the score, and Nate Kajowski was on the mound to get the no-hitter for Premier West. Yakima now on top of Post 22, 4-3. Todd Stevens leads off the bottom half of the fourth, the left fielder for Post 22. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field, and his first pitch from Parker Sandlin misses low and away for ball 1. Stevens, Sorensen, and Kramer all a combined 0 for 3, although Sorensen did reach on an error. 1-0. That's a strike at the knees of Stevens, and the count evens up at 1-1. Stevens on the season comes in batting .448. His 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. Inside off-speed pitch, and the count goes to 1-2, which is interesting because he doesn't get in the batter's box often. He doesn't hit a lot. But when he does, he really gets his money's worth. 1-2 pitch. Misses low and away and skips from Jaden Martinez, the catcher. 2-2 now, the count here to Stevens. Sandlin's only struck out 2, and he's only walked 1. But 4 errors have really hurt him with his defense surrounding him. 2-2, misses low and away. And the count goes full for Todd Stevens. Sorensen patiently waiting in the on-deck circle. Stevens looks to try and be the leadoff man on. Payoff, swung on and ripped down the third base line, but it's foul, and the count will hold full. Stevens last night was the designated hitter as Eric Petrie took a snap in left field. Now the roles have reversed. Stevens is in left, and Petrie's back to his normal home at DH. Payoff number 2, swung on and chopped again, foul third base side. Lather, rinse, repeat. Payoff pitch number 3 coming up.
Tomorrow night we'll be on the air approximately 7 o'clock as Post 22 takes on Rocky Mountain out of Colorado. Rocky Mountain currently 4-1. Hardhats at this moment 4-0.
Next pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Stevens chased the pitch low and away, and that is the 3rd strikeout for Parker Sandlin in the start. 1 up, 1 down. That will bring up Jack Sorensen. And Tom, you even said it too, with the importance of the Rocky Mountain and Eden Prairie games. How important is this game turning out?
Very, very important. It's going to be the next 2 nights, though, that's going to determine Post 22's fate.
Sorensen's first pitch hit to second. Brown to throw to first is in time. And just like that, there are 2 up and 2 down. And that'll bring up Justin Kramer. Kramer on the ball game, 0 for 1. He grounded out to short back in the bottom half of the second. He has the base path empty and 2 outs now in the bottom of the fourth. Post 22 trailing 4-3 to the Yakima Beatles out of Yakima, Washington. First pitch to Kramer misses low and away, and it's ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Kramer. Kramer hitting .390 in the 8th spot. Shows you how clutch he is. 1-0 is fouled. All the way to the backstop. Count evens up at a ball and a strike.
Our games begin tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with Premier West taking on Mountain West. Eden Prairie again will play 11:30, a key game against Mountain West.
1-1 to Kramer. Off-speed pitch is pushed to right field, but it's foul. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes now for the Hardhats third baseman.
Eden Prairie will play again at 2 against Las Vegas. 4:30, this Yakima team will play Missoula, and then Post 22 in Rocky Mountain tomorrow.
1 ball and 2 strikes the count here to Kramer. His base path's empty, 2 outs bottom of the fourth. 1-2 is way outside, and Kramer will see another one. His count is deadlocked 2-2. Should Kramer keep the inning going? Connor King's on deck. He has an RBI single under his belt. Only 3 hits in the ball game for post 22. 2-2 rides high and away, and now the count goes full here for Kramer. Second payoff pitch scenario of the inning for Parker Sandlin. He's about to throw his 58th pitch. Payoff up high, ball 4. So Kramer draws a 2-out walk. There's a man aboard, and that's going to bring up Connor King, the center fielder. Again, King is 1 for 1 with an RBI single. They're actually going to pinch hit him. They're going to throw Riley McSherry in there. So Riley McSherry is now going to take over at center field, and he will bat for King. First pitch misses low. Martinez gets the block. It's 1-0. McSherry comes into the ballgame batting .225. This is only the 18th game in which he's come to bat. He's primarily stuck to his position as the number 1 in the pitching rotation for post 22. Kramer sitting on first, 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. And the 1-0 to McSherry, runner goes, is a strike, but the ball was dropped by Martinez, so Kramer safely strolls into scoring position. So 1-1 the count here for Riley McSherry. Taking over for Connor King. Again, he went 1 for 1 with the RBI single. Now McSherry's in a position to match that statistic. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, and the ball is hit to third. And it goes in a left for a base hit. Kramer turns third. He comes into home, and the throw's not going to get there. A 2-out RBI pinch hit single for Riley McSherry, and we are all square at 4.
It's what you call a seeing-eye single. Just out of the reach of the third baseman Meyer. Just out of the reach of the shortstop Williams. Right through the hole in the left field. Wow.
What a clutch hit.
What a move by Mitch Messer.
So now here comes Walker Paz, 0 for 2. Grounded to second, and he's grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. 2 outs and the go-ahead run on first. And the first pitch is low and inside for ball 1. Paz, the lefty, against Sandlin, the righty. Deadlocked at 4. What a clutch hit that was. McSherry takes his lead off of first. And the pitch low and inside. 2-0 now to Paz. And if he keeps the inning going, Zach Solano's on deck. And now we're going to have a conference out on the mound with the Premier West coach, the catcher, and Parker Sandlin. Now, McSherry came into this game earlier to courtesy run for Timmy Paris. And did so on 2 different occasions. So there will be a different courtesy runner when Paris comes up, should he get on the base path. But good on McSherry. You're inserted. Your team's calling upon you for a big hit. Kudos to you. Conference is over. Looks like we're right back to baseball. McSherry, another big lead off of first. Sandlin gives him a look. And a 2-0 to Paz. Swung on, and it's fouled to the left of our press box. And thuds on the roof. 2-1. If Paz is retired, it's 5, 6, and 7 due up for Yakima in the top half of the 5th. 4s on either side of the scoreboard. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. McSherry goes, and they've got him caught in the pickle. The throw to seconds in time, and that'll do it. So McSherry's caught stealing, 1-4. And Walker Paz will lead off the the bottom half of the 5th when the Hardhats come back to bat in the bottom half. So the Hardhats get a run on the power of a hit. There were no errors charged to Yakima. Nobody left on the base path. 4 innings in the books. We're deadlocked. 4 on either side. Trey Eberline's going to come out to pitch in relief of Colton Trubinsky. We'll have everything you need to know about him in just a few moments. You're listening from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box to Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Great faces, great places. Wet paint? Yep. And around here, when great places need a little love, great faces band together. Each year, First Interstate Bank employees help local organizations put a fresh coat of paint on homes of those in need. A small gesture, perhaps, but one that puts smiles on faces and strengthens bonds in the places we serve. First Interstate Bank. It's you and I together.
Well, the very interesting evening of Colton Stravinsky has come to its conclusion. Colton ended up pitching 4 innings, in which he surrendered 5 hits and 4 runs. And of those 4 runs, all were earned, despite a series of errors. He walked 4, he struck out 6. He threw 86 pitches and committed 4 errors of the 5 Post 22 has. Trey Eberline's now on the mound for Post 22. 19 2/3 innings of work under his belt. 12th appearance of the season, 11th by virtue of relief. He has a 2-0 record, so because the score is tied, as of right now, he's the pitcher of record in this game. He's also 1 for 1 at save opportunities. He's 18 strikeouts to, he's 3 for 3 in save opportunities. 18 strikeouts to 17 walks and a 2.14 ERA. Eberline's going to take 5, 6, and 7 on in the order for Yakima. Dakota Doan, the left fielder, will lead off. 0 for 2 with a ground out. He also reached on an error. Top of the 5th about to begin, and the first pitch from Eberline's low and away for ball 1. Numbers across the board for Yakima: 4 runs, 5 hits, 4 errors, and for Post 22, 4 runs on 4 hits with 5 errors. A lot of 4s and 5s out there. 1-0. Swung on, ball's hit sharply to short. Bowman gets the stop. Throw to first is off the glove of Sorensen. And he just couldn't snare it in. And that is the 6th error of the ball game for Post 22, as Doan is safe at first. So now Ricky Mendiola comes up. The DH, 0 for 1 with a walk and a fly out. He has a man on first and no one out. And the first pitch from Eberline, he shows bunt, and it's a strike. 0-1 the count, and I was about to say wouldn't be surprised to see a bunt here, because that's what Yakima's shown all night anytime they get a runner on the base path. Although they've had a lot of trouble getting that bunt down, I will say that. Only 2 successful sacrifices out of 4 attempts. Bunt is dropped. It is successful. Eberline's going to come in and field it. His throw to first is in time. So a 1-3 sacrifice for Mendiola. Advances Doan to scoring position. So the go-ahead run's 180 feet away for Yakima. And that'll bring up Brian Calhoun, who's 1 for 1 with a walk, a run scored, and a single in his last at-bat. Although his hit was all for naught because he had a fellow base runner try and stretch for an extra bag, and he was thrown out by about 7 miles. Time's called before his first pitch. The man on second is Dakota Doan, the left fielder. The man in the batter's box, Brian Calhoun, the first baseman. Eberline's first pitch, low and away, it skips to the backstop. And taking advantage of third is Doan. So a wild pitch, just another one of these miscues starting to pile up for either side in this ball game, and it's 1-0 to Calhoun with a man 90 feet away from breaking this 4-4 deadlock. Just as speechless as you, Tom. This is nuts. One ball, no strikes to count. Infield is in, trying to prevent the run. Next pitch is swung on, and it's blooped into right. Solano comes in, he dives, and the ball skips over his head. Coming in to score is Doan, and on first with that go-ahead run scored is Brian Calhoun, and with 1 out and a man on first in the top of the 5th, Yakima's back on top, 5-4.
Well, that's the second hit Calhoun has had, almost carbon copy hits. He had that bloop single in the 3rd inning over towards the foul line, and it was again an effort by Zach Solano who trapped it in the 3rd inning. 6 hits now for Yakima, and they lead 5-4.
That'll bring up Jaden Martinez, the catcher, who's 2 for 2, a ribby single and a single. He shows bunt. First pitch is low, and it's blocked by Paris.
You know, I've referenced it before during our broadcast this year, Mark, that Coach Dave Plouffe would always call the bunt a weapon. and very few coaches look at it that way. And Dave had tremendous success using the bunt.
1-0. Call it strike outside corner, even though Martinez pulled the bat back from his bunt attempt. 1-1 the count here to Martinez. He was unsuccessful on one of his bunts, but it didn't come back to bite him because he ended up getting the ribby single on the play. And now his third base coach has pulled him aside. Could be talking about whether or not to bunt, maybe swing away or not show. Throw the infield defense of the Hardhats off here a bit. Calhoun's on first, the RBI single to give his team a 5-4 lead. Martinez looking for his third hit, but he has shown bunt on the last 2 pitches. And he's showing it again. Pulls back. It's hit right back to Eberline. To second for 1. To first for 2. Got it. Double play. What a big heads-up double play by Trey Eberline to Cooper Bowman to Jack Sorensen. It's 1-6-3, and it will end the top half of the 5th. 43rd double play of the season for the Hardhats. 1 run on the power of 1 hit with 1 error charged to post 22. No one left on the base path. 4.5 innings, and post 22 trails again. 5-4 is the score. Top of the order due up to try and get him back into it. You're listening to the official radio home of post 22 Hardhats baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
So now we go to the bottom half of the 5th after Trey Eberline starts a dynamite 1-6-3 double play to get the Hardhats out of the top of the 5th. Top of the order's due up. Walker Paz was at bat in the bottom of the 4th when Riley McSherry was picked off. So it'll be Paz, Solano, and Bowman due up with the Hardhats trailing 5-4. They need something here to get them back level or ahead of Yakima. 5 runs, 6 hits, 4 errors for Yakima through 4.5. On the other side for post 22, it's 4 runs on 4 hits and a whopping 6 errors. Parker Sandlin still on the mound. First pitch to Paz, swung on, and it's hit into right field for a base hit. Coach Hers was fired up. He was clapping to Walker just before he stepped into the batter's box. Good to see that motivation and that emotion have paid off. Leadoff man's aboard with a single. It brings up Zach Solano.
5 hits now for post 22 in the game, and now we'll see if Mitch Messer chooses to bunt, hit and run, steal. He's got some options here. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning.
First pitch. Misses low, and it skips to the backstop, and Walker Paz is going to take second.
That takes care of that.
Well, he could bunt him over to put him at third. Never know. Could hit and run him to third, too. Walker's got the Jets for it.
You want to make a wager on that, bunt?
What's on the line?
Oh, your month's pay.
Oh, okay. 1-0.
I need something worth a lot.
Misses low, but it's blocked. 2-0. So then if you need something that's worth a lot, why are you asking for my month's pay?
I've seen that check.
Yeah, 5 peanuts? I don't know.
The Brinks truck comes into the bank and make sure they have enough money on deposit.
Next pitch is pushed into right for a base hit. Walker Paz has the green light. He is rounding third. The ball's mishandled. He's going to head home. Solano's going to head to second. An RBI single. Solano will advance to second on the error. And the Hardhats have drawn level again. 5s on either side of the scoreboard here on the bottom of the 5th. Nobody out and a man on second. So the Hardhats back-to-back hits to right field. Solano going opposite field. They haven't charged an error yet, though, on the right fielder. It'll be interesting to see if they even will. My initial gut reaction was to do so as Bowman fouls off his first pitch.
Burge was running to his right to try to backhand the ball and prevent it from going through to the fence, and he got to it, but it just deflected off his glove, and I'm that's one of those 50-50 ones, I think. But I don't know how you give Solano a double, but I guess you would if they don't charge an error.
0-2 to Bowman. Misses outside just by a hair. Sandlin giving the umpire an elongated stare. Ball and 2 strikes now the count. Bowman has Solano on second, no one out. And the 1-2 misses low. It skips away from Martinez, and Solano's going to take third. The ball went off the leg of Martinez to his left. And it allowed Solano to take advantage of third base. So now the infield's in because Solano's the go-ahead run, and he's 90 feet away from scoring. There's no one out, and Bowman's in a 2-2 battle right now with Sandlin. So I guess they are going to give Solano a double on that, an RBI double. So it's a 2-bagger for Solano. And the pass ball allows him to take third. Bowman in one swing can give the Hardhats the lead for the first time tonight. Second time tonight. Infield's in. 2-2. Misses low and away, and the count goes full. And it's an interesting shift on this infield in because shortstop is playing very close to the third baseman. And the third baseman's right on the line, so it's infield in with a shift. Payoff pitch caught him looking. Strike 3 for the third time tonight. Cooper Bowman has a backwards K in the book. And it's the 4th strikeout for Sandlin. 1 down. With Solano still on third, that'll bring up Eric Petrie. Very uncharacteristic of Bowman. 0 for 3. 3 backwards Ks. Petrie looks at ball 1 high and inside. He's 1 for 1, a ribby single, and a base on balls.
Cooper's thinking too much, plain and simple.
1-0 to Petrie. Misses low. 2 balls, no strikes. Timmy Paris is on deck. Hardhats have some heavy bats coming up. Paris on deck. Stevens in the hole. Petrie currently up. 2-0 from Sandlin. Swung on. Ball is hit by the third baseman, Meyer, and into left for a base hit. Solano's going to come in to score. Petrie triumphantly stands on first with a 1-out RBI single, and the Hardhats, for the second time tonight, are on top at 6-5.
Eric with 33 RBIs now on the season, 2 tonight.
And a big hit from Petrie. 2 for 2 now, a pair of ribby singles, and that'll bring up Timmy Paris, who's 0 for 2. Grounded into a fielder's choice, reached on an error. First pitch, low and away from Sandlin, ball 1. Well, Tom, it's been a sloppy game. 10 errors from both sides combined. But it's an exciting one. It's close. 1-0 to Paris. Misses low. 2-0. Paris has Petrie on first with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th, and the Hardhats, for just the second time tonight, are on top. 6-5 is their lead. 2 balls, no strikes to count. And the pitch. Swung on, and the ball's pushed into right field. Burge trying to field it. It's off his glove. And Petrie's going to take second and hang on. And Paris is into first. And that is the 5th error of the ball game on Yakima. An E9 that allows Paris to reach. So the poor kid's reached base twice. Both of them are on errors. He doesn't have a hit to show for it. And Tommy Wall's going to come in and courtesy run for him.
I can't remember the last time Post 22 had 6 errors in a game. I can't remember the last time 2 teams have combined for 11 errors in this game. Incredible.
That's just that right. That's all you can say. Here's Todd Stevens. Men on first and second, 1 out. First pitch is fouled. 0-1 the count as that ball travels into the grandstand. Stevens on the ball game, 0 for 2 with a fly out to center and a strikeout. The third of now 4 that Sandlin has issued in this contest. Tommy Wall, the courtesy runner, on first. Petrie with the ribby single is on second. 0-1, swung on, hit to short, and it's under the glove of Williams into left field. Petrie rounds third. He's going to score. Wall's into third. And Todd Stevens stands on first. And the Hardhats now have a 2-run lead. It's 7-5 with one out and men on the corners here in the bottom of the fifth. And they're going to charge that as an error on the shortstop Williams. 12 errors total, 6 on either side. This is insane. So an E6 allows Stevens to get on the base path. It's men on the corners. It brings up Jack Sorensen, who's 0 for 2. He's reached on an E6, and he's come around to score on one as well. So Parker Sandlin about to throw his 83rd pitch, and I'm not seeing any action in the Yakima bullpen, so it looks like they're going to stay with him for the rest of this inning. Runner goes. First pitch is in the dirt, but then the runner retreats.
Well, if you make your plays, he's out of the inning. So the pitcher really is kind of being hung out to dry here right now by Yakima.
1-0 the count here to Sorensen. Was men on the corners and one out in the bottom of the fifth. 7-5, Hardhats are on top. Next pitch, a called strike. At the knees of Sorensen, it's 1-1. 90 feet to his left on third is Tommy Wall, courtesy running for Timmy Paris. 90 feet to his right on first is Todd Stevens, the beneficiary of an E6. Next pitch, swung on, and it's ripped foul. Right field side and into Rapid Creek as Stevens went. Ball and 2 strikes now the count.
Great to see the crowd tonight, our best of the season. Tomorrow night, another 7 o'clock game and a huge game at Post 22 in Rocky Mountain. We'll have it here on ESPN Radio and Hardhat TV.
And it'll be even bigger if the Hardhats can escape with this interesting win, to say the least. It's been an up-and-down game for Post 22, but they are on top now. 3 runs in this inning. They have a 7-5 lead. One out, men on the corners for Sorensen. Sandlin deals his 1-2. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on, hit high in the air to right field. Underneath it is Burge. He makes the catch. Tagging from third to come in and score is Wall. An RBI sac fly for Jack Sorensen, and the Hardhats lead is now extended to 8-5 with a man on first and 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth. So Stevens will hang tight at first. 2 outs now, and that'll bring up Justin Kramer, who's 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out to short. 87th pitch of the start for Sandlin, or we're going to have to wait for that. He checked down to first. Kramer keeps this going. McSherry's on deck. He took over at center field for Connor King. First pitch to Kramer, a called strike. At his knees, 0-1. McSherry had a big RBI single in his first at-bat, pinch hitting for King. He's on deck. 0-1, misses low to Kramer, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. If Kramer is the final out, 9-1 and 2 are due up for Yakima. That's Brock Williams, Isaac Pastrana, and Alec Brown. Shortstop, center fielder, second baseman, respectively. Runner goes. 1-1 is low. Throw to second is off track, not in time. And Todd Stevens finally gets his stolen base. He tried a couple of times when Sorensen was up, and he finally gets it. So a ball and 2 strikes to the count as the pitch was called to strike to Kramer. He has a man on second. He's trying to keep the momentum up. Hardhats have scored 4 runs in this inning, and they're now in an 8-5 lead. 1-2, swung on it. It's poked high in the air, right field, and it drops just fair for a base hit. Stevens rounds third. He's going to come in and score. Kramer's going to head to second on the overthrow. An RBI single for Kramer. He'll advance to second on the throw. It's 9-5, Post 22. A man on second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth. Well, this turned into a very big inning for Post 22 and what has been a very sloppy game on both sides.
You know, Mark Day, the coach of Yakima, told me before the game he's got a very young team, 6 sophomores on this team that play, and you can see some of the young mistakes they've made during the game, but they have battled, especially this pitcher, Sandlin.
First pitch to McSherry, swung on and missed. 0-1 the count to McSherry, who knocked in Kramer the last time he was up for a big game-tying RBI single at the time. Yakima ended up taking the lead at the top of this inning. Now the Hardhats have put up a 5 spot. They're up 9-5. 0-1. High and inside. And the count evens up 1-1 on the fastball to McSherry. If he keeps it going, we're back to Walker Pause at the top of the order. The Hardhats have officially batted through everyone. 1-1 misses low and away, and it's 2-1 to McSherry. Man on second is Kramer. Hardhats have a 9-5 lead now. 2-1 pitch. Called strike at his belt. And it's 2-2 to McSherry on a nice off-speed pitch from Sandlin. The next pitch out of his hand will be number 95 in this start. He looks to second to Kramer. 2-2 pitch. Rides upstairs and the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to McSherry. If he walks, the inning continues. Walker pauses up. Hardhats have batted through the entire order. It's a man on second and 2 outs here for McSherry. Kramer a big lead. Sandlin a double take to second. Payoff pitch caught him looking. Strike 3, and McSherry can't believe it. But it's a backwards K, and it's the 5th strikeout for Sandlin, and he gets out of this bottom half of the 5th. The Hardhats score 5 runs on the power on 4 hits. 4 Yakima errors were charged in this inning. They now have 8 on the board. And there was 1 man left on base. So the Hardhats take a 9-5 lead into the top half of the 6th. We'll be back with that and more here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Why do so many business people trust us? Well, we're pretty nice folks, of course, and we really know our stuff. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
Well, Yakima goes through a disastrous bottom half of the 5th inning on defense. 5 runs, 4 hits, 4 errors were charged to Yakima. And now Post 22 in the driver's seat up 9-5 here in the top of the 6th. Trey Eberline's back on the mound in relief. Brock Williams, the first gentleman he faces. He fouls off his first pitch. Williams on the ballgame 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a sacrifice bunt. And he's 0-1 to Eberline.
Reminder to all our listeners and fans, the fireworks display is following Monday night's game against Eden Prairie here. Monday night, the 3rd of July, 7 o'clock, Post 22 in Eden Prairie.
0-1, a called strike at the knees of Williams. No balls, 2 strikes to count now from Eberline. Out in relief of Colton Sherbinsky. Went 4 innings, 6 strikeouts, but 4 walks and 4 errors committed on the mound. 0-2 from Eberline. Swung on and it's pushed foul, and the count holds at 0-2. Numbers across the board through 5 for Yakima, now trailing the Hardhats. 5 runs, 6 hits, a whopping 8 errors. And for Post 22, it's 9 runs on 8 hits. They've also got a whopping 6 blemishes on defense. Eberline, 0-2 against Williams. Full windup for Eberline. He deals the 0-2. Upstairs, 1 and 2 strikes now to Brock Williams, the Yakima shortstop. Williams will be followed by Isaac Pastrana, the center fielder, and Alec Brown, the second baseman. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. And the 1-2 from Eberline. Missed high and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So 2-2 now the count here to Brock Williams. Full windup, 2-2 pitch from Eberline. Swung on, and it's chopped foul. And he stays alive with a count at 2-2. The Hardhats have the top of the order back up in the bottom half of this inning. They batted through everyone in the bottom half of the fifth to get their 5 runs. Two balls, 2 strikes, the count still from Eberline. And he deals to Williams. Swung on, ball's lined into center field. It drops in front of McSherry for a base hit. So it's a leadoff single from Williams. And that'll bring us back to the top of the Yakima order to Isaac Pastrana, who won the ballgames 2 for 3 with a single, a run scored, a 2-run RBI, ground rule double, and a strikeout. So Eberline has a man on first to worry about, nobody out. First pitch, a called strikeout, a breaking ball. Nice pitch from Eberline, and he's ahead 0-1 to Pastrana. Man on first is Williams with the leadoff single. No one out here in the top of the 6th. Hardhats looking to keep this a 9-5 score. Check down to first, not there in time, and protect their 4-run lead. No balls and a strike to Pastrana. Another check down to first, not there in time. I'm going to echo a sentiment that you produced earlier. I get kind of shaky when a Hardhats pitcher tries to check down a runner. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, ball's popped up. Foul territory, and it looks like it's going to go out of play despite the best efforts of Jack Sorensen. No balls, 2 strikes now, the count here to Pastrana.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm going to leave you, Mark. I'm going to go down and chase foul balls. They're getting $1 for a foul ball in this game, and we could all use a little extra money.
No balls, 2 strikes, the count.
Except you.
Yeah. I guess so. You think I'm such a high roller here. 0-2 pitch. Swung on, and it's fouled again. Stays in the field of play. And the count holds at 0-2. I don't know where you get this idea that I'm a high roller, but I'm kind of flattered by it, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I know your Corvette's 3 years old, so it's not a new one, but...
Sorry, I almost awkwardly spit my water out and you said I had a Corvette. I wish I had a Corvette. Although I do love my Corolla. Check down to first, not there in time. It's a couple months old now, but it's a great car.
A lot of similarities between a Corolla and a Camaro.
Oh, yeah.
Both start with C.
That is true. Another check down to first, not there in time.
Trey's got to concentrate on the hitter here. I mean, this guy doesn't mean anything. He's being distracted. He needs to concentrate on getting the hitter. He's got a 2-strike count on him.
Oh. Another check down to first, and there it is, Tom. Ball is thrown off track. And taking second is Brock Williams. You said it so eloquently just a few moments before it happened. I'll give you the floor to say it again.
No, this is one of the... I can't believe how poorly this game has been played. Abner Doubleday is spinning in his grave right now.
0-2. Swung on, and it's fouled. Whew. That went over the dugout of Yakima.
And I say that with all due respect, because I know both teams are trying. The guys aren't out there looking to do these things. But this game has not been played in a mental state by either team. I mean, mentally and physically, this game is... I can't remember 40 years of seeing anything like this.
That's the 7th error for Post 22 and the 15th between both teams. And I ask you a very dangerous question here in a bit after Eberline deals his 0-2 pitch. He's going to go from the stretch now with a runner on second, and he deals. Swung on, ball's popped up and foul. It'll remain 0-2 here to Isaac Pastrana, who now has a man on second and no one out here in the top of the 6th. Tom, what are the odds that either one of these teams gets to double digits in errors?
Oh, I pray that doesn't happen.
Oh, we still have 2 frames. Maybe a frame and a half. Anything could happen at this rate. I never thought we'd see 8 errors on one side and 7 on another. 0-2. Fouled again. Sorry, folks. I sound like a broken record. 0-2 fouled. 0-2 fouled. Lather, rinse, repeat. 0-2's fouled.
Two teams have combined for 14 runs, 15 hits, and 15 errors.
It's a comedy of errors, Tom, in the immortal words of William Shakespeare, a comedy of errors. Time's called before Eberline deals his 0-2.
I hate when you get philosophical on me, and because we end up with two monkeys in a room and Shakespeare and all that.
And I had no idea that was a part of the infinite monkey theorem. I thought that was just a saying. I didn't know it was an actual scientific study when I said that. 0-2. High and away. Wow, I get to say something different. A ball and 2 strikes. For the fans that missed it last night, Tom was commenting about how the two of us sounded smart in one exchange, and I said, well, the saying is if you put two monkeys in a room with a typewriter, they'll write Shakespeare. Apparently, that's a scientific study that happened. It's the infinite monkey theorem. If you put two monkeys in a room with a typewriter, they'll mash the keys so much that eventually they'll crank out a work of Shakespeare because they will hit every infinite possible phrase known to man. Next pitch. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Or rather, in an infinite amount of time, they'll hit the finite amount of words that we have at our disposal. Therefore, they'll write Shakespeare.
You got yourself into this. I'm letting you get yourself out.
I was just explaining for everybody that may have missed it the other night. 2-2 pitch. Caught him looking. Strike 3. And after an at-bat that seems to have taken an hour, Eberline finally gets the strikeout. 1 down with a man on second. That's going to bring up Alec Brown. And I saw you check your phone over there. Were we at an hour? That was a long at-bat.
Like you said, seemed like an hour.
So here comes Brown, who's 0 for 3. He's reached, 0 for 2. He's reached on an error. He's sacrificed, and he struck out. And he looks at a first pitch strike from Eberline. 0-1 the count. To Alec Brown. He has a man on second, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. The Hardhats looking to keep their 9-5 lead intact. Next pitch swung on and it's pulled into left. Stevens charges and he makes the catch. F7 in the book. 2 down. Still that man on second. It'll bring up Hunter Meyer, the third baseman, who's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts and a walk. Should Meyer be the final out, the Hardhats will go back to the top of the order here in the bottom of the 6th. Yakima has no runs on a hit right now in this top half of the inning. Man on second, 2 outs. Meyer looking for his first hit. And Eberline's pitch is low and away on a breaking ball for ball 1. Jason Burge, the right fielder, is on deck if we get that far. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout. And he popped out with the bases loaded the last time he was up. 1-0. Swung on and missed. Ball and a strike to count for Meyer. Eberline looking to keep this 9-5 Hardhats lead intact on the mound. He's in relief of Colton Trubinsky. Next pitch just missed the outside corner, and Timmy Paris held the ball there just to get his point across to the umpire, but he wasn't having any of that. 2-1 now the count to Meyer. And the 2-1 pitch, high and away. 3-1 now the count. Eberline trying to avoid his first base on balls issued in relief. 3 balls and a strike to count here to Meyer. Burge is on deck. Man on second is Williams. 3-1 pitch. Strike 2 on the outside corner. The umpire rang back for strike 3, but he misread his little device down there.
I think you and I are the only 2 people that have their heads in this game.
Can we charge an error to the umpire? EU? Is that what we can do? That'll be the 16th error of the ballgame? 3 balls, 2 strikes to count. And Eberline's pitch is high and away, ball 4. So a 2-out walk issued to Hunter Meyer. There's 2 men on the base path. And 2 outs. That brings us to Jason Burge, the right fielder. I think we have to be, Tom, going back to that earlier question. I think we have to be. I don't know. I could be wrong.
No.
First pitch to Burge with men on first and second. Swung on and missed. 0-1 his count on the off-speed pitch. Burge is 0 for 2. A backwards K, a pop out to first with the bases loaded to end the top half of the fourth. That was the last time Yakima had a really good scoring chance outside of their run in the top of the fifth. Next pitch, a called strike, another off-speed pitch from Everline. 0-2 the count. Dakota Doan, the left fielder, is on deck if we get that far. If not, Walker Paz will be set to take to the batter's box in the bottom half of the sixth for post 22. It's a 9-5 post 22 lead. 0-2. Swung on. Ball's lined to second. Paz charges in. He makes the catch on the run, and that's going to do it. Walker Paz gets the final out of the inning. It's no runs on a hit with 1 error charged to Trey Eberline. On post 22, 2 men left on the base path. 1 was in scoring position. 5.5 innings in the books. Post 22 still has their 9-5 lead intact. We'll be right back with the bottom half of the sixth and the top third of the Hardhats order in just a few moments. You're listening from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box to the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
Well, we have a couple of defensive substitutions for you here, folks. The evening of Parker Sandlin has come to an end on the mound, and it looks like Dakota Doan is going to come in from left field to pitch. So Doan is from left to the mound. And in left field, it looks like the third baseman, Hunter Meyer, has moved out there. So that means a new gentleman is at third base. And if I saw that correctly, too, Sandlin's out at short. So Doan on the mound.
Alec Brown's gone to third.
So Brown at third.
Meyer in left.
Sandlin's at short.
Sandlin's at short. I bet Williams went to second.
I believe you are correct. That is Brock Williams. And Calhoun still at first. The rest of the defensive alignment still intact. Pastrana in center, Burge in right. So Doan gives way, or rather Sandlin gives way to Doan. Sandlin ended up going 5 innings. He allowed 8 hits, 9 runs. I don't even want to bother counting how many of these were earned or not. Looks like 3 were not earned. So 6 earned runs for him. He struck out 5. And Dakota Doan's first pitch to Walker Paz is away for ball 1. And he only walked 2. Next pitch to Paz, a swing and a miss. And the count evens up to a ball and a strike. Paz, Solano, and Bowman due up here in the bottom of the 6th. The Hardhats have a 9-5 lead over the Yakima Beetles out of Yakima, Washington.
Talk about a beautiful night for a game. One of the most bizarre games I've ever witnessed.
And I was about to say, I don't see that full moon, so there's no way that the full moon contributed to how bizarre this was. Really hoping to see a full moon just to kind of put my mind at ease. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, it's fouled. Ball and 2 strikes now, the count here to Paz. Otherwise, I don't know how else to explain it.
Well, there are some things in this world, Mark, you just can't explain. And it's better not to try.
1-2. Swung on and it's fouled. That was a low pitch, and Paz stays alive. Paz on the ball game is 1 for 3. He grounded out to second, grounded into a 4-6-3 double play to end the bottom of the second, and then he singled and scored in the fifth. 1-2 from Doan. Way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Through 5.5, it's 5 runs, 7 hits, 8 errors for Yakima. And for post 22, 9 runs, 8 hits, and 7 errors. 2-2 to Paz. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That's the first strikeout in relief for Doan. 1 up, 1 down will bring us to Zach Solano. Solano on the ball game is 2 for 3. A pair of singles, 1 knocked in a run, and he reached on an error. One of the 15 we have combined between both of these teams. 16 if we include the umpire we were discussing earlier.
I made an error in the second inning.
Okay, well then 17 errors now. So is that an ET, an E-Tom? Is that how that goes? First pitch, swung on and missed.
It was a 2-word error.
No balls and a strike here to Solano.
It'll be interesting to see how post 22 reacts after, if they can hold this lead and play Rocky Mountain tomorrow, because they just commit 7 errors against Rocky Mountain. The score will not be 9-5 in their favor tomorrow night.
No, it will not. Solano fouls off his second pitch. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Cooper Bowman's on deck. He is looking for his first hit. He's in a funk tonight. 0-2 to Solano, misses way low and away on the breaking pitch. 1-2 the count, and I say that because Bowman's 0 for 3 with back-to-back-to-back strikeouts caught looking. So he's looking for his first hit. 1-2 to Solano from Doan. Breaking ball, misses up high. 2-2 now the count. Solano is the hottest hand as of right now for the Hardhats. He went 5 for 6 in the doubleheader yesterday, both games. Had 3 RBI hits. He's got an RBI hit tonight, and he's 2 for 3. 2-2, swung on, and that ball is hit high in the air to left field. That ball has some legs. It's got the distance, but it's dying at the warning track, and it is caught by Hunter Meyer, who moved up to left field. So an F7 in the book. 2 up, 2 down. That'll bring us to Cooper Bowman. So Cooper Bowman looking for his first hit of tonight's game. 0 for 3, 3 backwards Ks in the book. First pitch from Doan. Curveball called strike at his belt. 0-1 the count. Bowman has the base path empty and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. He could potentially be the final offensive out for post 22, as his next pitch is low and inside, and it's now a ball and a strike. If Bowman is the final out, 5, 6, and 7 are due up for Yakima. They're down 9-5. 1-1. Swung on, and that ball is torched left field side, but it's foul. And out of play to the Hardhats cages out in left field. Ball and 2 strikes now the count. One ball and 2 strikes the count. Bowman looking for that first hit. And time is called as Jaden Martinez, the catcher, will go up to Doan on the mound. How crazy would it be, Tom, if, and God forbid this happens, but how crazy would it be if Bowman gets struck out looking again?
And I hope I don't see that either. I think Cooper's just mentally right now, he's a little out of joints right now because he's been held to such a high standard this year.
1-2's way outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I've never known a hitter in the history of the game that's not gone through a little bit of a stretch where he's not hitting 500. Okay, Cooper's hitting 300, and he thinks he's in a slump.
2-2 is ripped just foul. just fouled. That had to have been fouled by maybe a centimeter, if that. And the count holds 2-2. And I have to agree with that. And it's the same thing for Colton Trubinsky, too, who got the start. We've been so used to seeing these guys, actually spoiled, I guess would be the better word. We've been spoiled to the baseball that they've played. So when they have an off night, it's just a complete shock to everyone. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count here to Bowman. And Doan deals. Swung on and just fouled again. That pitch back to the backstop, and the count holds 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Doan deals. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air. To shallow left. Charging in from left is Meyer, and on the run at the last second, he makes the catch. And that will retire the side. For the first time in this ball game, we have a 1-2-3 inning on our hands. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. 6 innings are in the books. The Hardhats are 3 outs away from going 5-0 in the Firecracker tournament. We'll be right back in just a few moments, folks. Troy Eberline's looking to close it out. We'll have that and more here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRAS IPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701.
Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1949.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1940.
Post 22 with a 9-5 lead now as we go to the top half of the 7th inning. Luke Ferdinand has gone into play first base, replacing Jack Sorensen for the Hardhats. And Trey Eberline will try to close this one out, beginning his 3rd inning of relief. Dakota Doan, the pitcher, will lead off. Number 5 hitter, started the game in left field. He's grounded out to second, reached on an error his last 2 at-bats. He has scored a run. Here's the windup by Eberline in the pitch. And a breaking ball misses outside for ball 1.
By the way, Tom, a defensive substitution for the Hardhats now at first base for Jack Sorensen is Luke Ferdinand.
And the pitch is strike to Doan, and it's 1-1. Outfield is straight away. Mendiola, the designated hitter, is on deck. And Eberline's pitch is low for a ball. It's 2-1. Yakima winning 1 and losing 3 so far in the Firecracker. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. A pitch breaking away from Doan, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. They will play at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon against Missoula. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 on the outside corner. So Eberline fans Doan to start the 7th inning. Trey's 2nd strikeout. Now we have a left-handed batter up here. And the first pitch is a ball. And this is Parker Sandlin, who was not hitting. He was the pitcher, then went to shortstop, and he takes a ball, and it's a strike, I should say, on the inside corner. It's 1-1. He went in for the DH when he stayed in the game. Pitches a strike at the knees, and it's 1-2. 1 out, top of the 7th. Hardhats 9, Yakima 5. Eberline, the pitcher of record for post 22. Into the windup he delivers. Swung on, a ground ball to short. To his left is Bowman. Gloves it, throws to first base. Scooped out by Ferdinand. Sandlin retired short to first. 2 down here in the 7th inning. And that'll bring up Brian Calhoun, the first baseman. Calhoun has walked and scored in the 2nd. And he has singled to right his last 2 at-bats. And he has an RBI. Here's the pitch by Eberline. And a fastball strike, belt high on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. And the 0-1 pitch. Low and away for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Eberline's pitch. Too high for a ball, and it's 2-1. Trey Eberline. Into his windup. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. A pitch up and away that Calhoun went after. He's the number 7 hitter for Yakima. If he can keep the game going, Martinez, the catcher, would bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the windup by Eberline. The pitch on the way. It's swung on and hit softly foul off to the right. And the count runs along at 2-2. Hope you can be out here at the game tomorrow night. Post 22 needs to win at least one of these next 2 games, the way the standings are shaping up, to secure a spot in the finals. Post 22 would lose to both Rocky Mountain and Eden Prairie. It would be very difficult for them to get to that championship game because they'll have lost the tiebreaker to the 2 other top teams in the standings. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Calhoun pokes it to right field, and that'll be in for a base hit. A soft line single to right, and Calhoun has hit the ball 3 times to right field for singles and a walk. So he is 3 for 3 in the game, and it brings up Jaden Martinez, the catcher.
8th hit of the ball game, 2 for Yakima. And considering, Tom, they were no hit earlier by Premier West. Good on this team to bounce back as well as they have on offense, at least. They can't speak for the defensive side of things on both sides of it, but nonetheless, it's just one of those nights, I guess. And there's a pinch runner, by the way. They're going to throw number 21, Ryan Hernandez, out there at first for Calhoun. And that is a pinch runner. Calhoun's the first baseman, not the catcher, so that is a pinch runner.
So Hernandez at first base. Here's Martinez, the catcher. He's 2 for 3. He's had a couple of singles, an RBI, hit into a double play his last at bat in the 5th. And looks at a strike over the inside corner from Eberline, and it's no balls and 1 strike. 9-5. The Hardhats leading here in the top of the 7th. Yakima bats with 2 outs and a runner at first. Eberline's pitch on the way. Another breaking ball, and it's a little bit high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Post 22, 4-0 in the Firecracker. Looking to go 5-0. Going into their game for first place tomorrow night against Rocky Mountain. Here's the pitch, and it's high. Assuming Post 22 holds this lead, they'd be 5-0. Rocky Mountain would be 4-1. But a Rocky Mountain win tomorrow night would put each team at 5-1, but Rocky would have the tiebreaker. 2 balls and a strike. Runner leads from first, not a big lead. The pitch is swung on and missed by Martinez, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Eberline within a strike now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the set by Trey. The 2-2 pitch swung on and foul back. Eberline started the double play that Martinez hit into in the 5th inning. Made a good fielding play and a quick comebacker. Made a perfect throw to second to Bowman, who threw on to first to complete that double play. Trey ready now. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Check swing, it hit him. Pitch in on Martinez, and he is hit by the pitch, and now we have runners at first and second. And that'll bring up Brock Williams, who's now at second base for Yakima. So they're still fighting here in the top of the 7th inning, trailing 9-5. Williams has struck out, had a sacrifice bunt, and singled to center. So he's 1 for 2, right-handed batter. Ferdinand playing a deep first in back of Martinez. Eberline's pitch is high and inside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Outfield straight away. Here's the set by Eberline. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball is through for a strike, and it's 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. And again, we're down to the final strike for Yakima. Hernandez from second. Martinez from first. The 1-2 pitch is a ball. The runner at second is going to go to third as the ball pops out of Paris's mitt and rolls off to the right. So runners at the corners, and the count is 2-2. As everything else in this game has been, this final out is not easy. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, and we have a full count.
Big pitch here for Trey because I don't think he wants this game to keep going anymore. His pitch count's up. This is going to be his 63rd pitch in relief. 3 innings of relief.
Martinez will be off and running. Here he goes. The pitch on the way is foul back. So the count runs along at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Two outs, 9-5. Hardhats leading here in the top of the 7th. Eberline sets. The 3-2 pitch to Williams. High and inside, ball 4. That loads him up. And Jason Hers is going out to the mound. Isaac Pastrana, the center fielder, the leadoff man, will be the batter. As Eberline got the first 2 men this inning, a called 3rd strike and a ground ball to short. Then Calhoun singled, Martinez hit by a pitch, and Williams has walked. Second walk for Eberline in relief.
That's now 6 walks for Hardhats pitching in this ball game. And 5 errors of the 7 have come from pitchers. Eberline got 1 on a bad pickoff. Sherpinski got 4 bad pickoffs. It's insane.
So Pastrana has singled to right, doubled to left center to knock in 2, and has struck out his last 2 at-bats, and he takes a pitch low in the dirt for ball 1. Well, a long one here would tie the game. So one thing Post 22 pitching has done an excellent job at this year, they've only given up 5 home runs all season. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball strike on the inside edge. One ball and one strike in Pastrana. The base is loaded for Yakima. They trail by 4 here in the 7th with 2 outs. Eberline swings into his windup, the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball in there, strike 2 called. Good curveball there by Eberline. One and two are within a strike again of ending this game. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Hard ground ball foul outside of third. A pitch in on Pastrana. A breaking ball. It's 1-2. And Paris is going to walk out halfway to the mound and talk with Eberline.
This is the 4th batter in a row, Tom, that Eberline's got to 2 strikes. So for the 4th time, like you said, we're 1 pitch away from ending this.
He's been in there for 2 2/3 innings now. And how many pitches is he throwing?
Next one will be number 69.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on a ground ball to third. It deflects off Kramer and goes into foul territory. 2 runs are going to score, and runners at second and third for Yakima. Hernandez, the pinch runner, scoring. Martinez scoring. Williams went to third and down to second. Pastrana. Nine to 7 now. The Hardhats lead, and look at this. The tying run is at second base. It'll be a base hit for Pastrana and 2 RBIs. He's driven in 4. Here's Brown up and a strike at the knees. Brown has had a sacrifice bunt, struck out, reached on an air, and lined out to left. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-2.
5th batter in a row. All we need is 1 pitch.
Eberline again within a strike of ending this game. He had the first 2 men out. There's strike 3. Pitch in at the knees. Brown is called out, and that ends the game. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. The final score, the Hardhats 9, the Yakima Beetles 7. Mark and I will return with the totals and the highlights of tonight's game here on ESPN Radio Rapid City in just 1 minute. Well, and one was not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination, and one that will not be recorded in the history of baseball as one of the most classic games ever played. In the end, Post 22 did what they had to do as they win by a score of 9-7 over Yakima tonight, and a game that featured 16 runs, 17 hits, 15 errors, and 13 men left on base. Post 22 moves to 5-0, still retain first place in the Firecracker standings by a game over Rocky Mountain, their opponent tomorrow night. And Yakima slips to 1-4 in the Firecracker standings. Yakima took a 1-run lead in the top of the first inning, Post 22 came back with 2 in the bottom of the first, 1 on a single by Eric Petrie. Then Yakima scored 3 in the second off Colton Sherbinski to make it 4-2. They had 3 runs on 2 hits in the inning, a 2-run double by Pastrana. They also had a run-scoring single from Martinez in the inning. It was 4-2 for the Beatles. Hardhats got an RBI single from Connor King in the bottom of the second to make it 4-3. And then the Hardhats tied the game in the 4th inning on Riley McSherry's pinch hit single, and it was 4-4. Yakima came back in the top of the 5th to take a 5-4 lead on Brian Calhoun's run-scoring single. Calhoun had 3 hits in the game. But Post 22 took the lead for good with 5 runs in the bottom half of the 5th inning to go ahead 9-5. They got an RBI sacrifice fly from Jack Sorensen, an RBI single from Justin Kramer, an RBI hit from Eric Petrie, an RBI hit from Zach Solano. 9-5, and then the final 2 runs in the 7th inning for Yakima made the final 9-7. Yakima had runners at second and third when Trey Eberline was able to get that final out of the game. 9 runs, 8 hits, 7 errors, and 3 left for Post 22. 7 runs, 9 hits, 8 errors, and 10 left for Yakima. So, Mark, your challenge now is to come up with one word to describe this game.
I'm going to come up with a series of words. I'm going to quote the immortal Vin Scully and say, I can't believe what I just saw. I seriously can't. I
thought that was Jack Buck.
Was that Jack Buck? Oh, well, then it was Jack Buck then. See, now I'm making errors. So the errors are up in the booth
Well,
now.
join the rest of us.
Yeah, seriously. Jack Buck, I can't believe what I just saw. And I seriously can't. 15 combined errors. 7 of them for Post 22 and 5 on the mound. And they're all on pickoffs, Tom. They're either on pickoffs or overthrows. And it just, wow.
What do you think Mitch Messer says to the team after this game?
Focus. Put it out of your head. Go home. Sleep. Focus. Because clearly there was none of it tonight. And Post 22 got lucky because I'm going to quote what you said earlier. Imagine tomorrow night the Hardhats play Rocky Mountain, who they're trying to gun for first place at this point, and they commit 7 errors. They're not going to win. And I completely agree with you on that. Post 22 got away with murder tonight. 7 errors, and they won 9-7. And they almost gave it away at the end, too. Keep that in mind. Trey had 5 batters in a row with 2 strikes. Couldn't get that last pitch to end it.
Well, and you look at the 7 errors that we had, and then you have to scratch your head to think, well, geez, that was 1 less than Yakima had.
Seriously.
So Yakima's probably saying, Gad, if we wouldn't have made all these errors, we had a real shot at winning this game, which they probably would have. But each team can use that, but you have to play the game, and you have to do it on the field. And neither team did it defensively tonight, as the teams made mistakes. You know, there were even a couple of plays that you may have had errors called, but as it is, I guess we had enough. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight after watching this. It's just it's like watching the Rocky Mountain Horror Show or something. It's just a comedy of, I guess we could call it a comedy instead of a horror show.
Yeah. Well, I said it earlier, is Shakespeare, comedy of errors.
There you go.
Keystone Cops, too, if you want to look at it that way, too. A little Keystone Cops action. What could go wrong did. It was a Murphy's Law specialty night, I guess. I don't know. It was, and let's put these errors in perspective. Post 22 had an error defensively in every single inning except the last one. And Yakima had 4 errors in the first 3 innings and then 4 in the 5th, and that's when the game was officially handed off. So put the errors in perspective. For the Hardhats, it was a consistent battle all night long with the errors, and for Yakima, they just gave up all their errors at the worst possible moment.
Rocky Mountain won 2 games today to move to 4-1. They defeated Missoula 8-1, and then Rocky Mountain beat Eden Prairie. Huge win there for Rocky over Eden Prairie, 5-2. Mountain West 11, Las Vegas 2. Premier West beat Yakima 9-0 behind the no-hitter by Nate Kajowski of Premier West over Yakima. And then Yakima losing a tough one to Post 22 here, 9-7. So the standings at this moment as we head into Sunday's play, Post 22 is in first place with a 5-0 record. Rocky Mountain is 4-1. Eden Prairie is 3-1. Mountain West and Premier West are both 2-2. Missoula's 1-3, Yakima 1-4, and Vegas winless in 5 games. So tomorrow morning, Premier West 2-2 takes on Mountain West 2-2, and then Mountain West will play Eden Prairie 3-1 in the 11:30 game. And then Eden Prairie plays at 2 against winless Las Vegas. At 4:30, Yakima 1-4 will take on Missoula 1-3. Tomorrow night, fans, at 7 o'clock here, and I'll explain the importance of this game, obviously, because Post 22 is 5-0 and Rocky Mountain is 4-1, but it's deeper than that. If Rocky Mountain beats Post 22 tomorrow night, both teams would be 5-1, but Rocky Mountain would have the tiebreaker. So that means Post 22's game Monday night against Eden Prairie, and you look at Eden Prairie's games tomorrow, they're going to be favored in both of them. We could have, if Post 22 would lose to Rocky Mountain and Eden Prairie win their doubleheader, 3 teams at 5-1 going into Monday's play. So if Post 22 wins tomorrow, that clinches a spot as far as I can see in the championship game.
And the math does check out on that, because even if Post 22 lost to Eden Prairie, they'd still be in at 6-1. They would, granted, they wouldn't have the tiebreaker over Eden Prairie, but they would have one over Rocky Mountain at that point, should they stay at 6-1. So, yeah, the math does check out on that, Tom. You're right. If the Hardhats win tomorrow, they're in it Tuesday night at 5 o'clock.
That's all for me, good sir.
That's all for me as well.
Well, good night, Mark.
Good night, Tom. We'll put this one behind us, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully for not 15 hours of baseball. That'll do it for us up here, folks. Again, Tom mentioned tomorrow, roughly around 7 o'clock, we'll be back on the air on ESPN Radio Rapid City and on Hardhats TV. And Tom wants to give one last thanks to Camping World for an outstanding sponsorship of this event.
You just did it. Thank you, Mark.
Oh, well, you had the read out there. I didn't know if you wanted to go through the read.
Well, I can just add that they're your one stop for sales, service, and accessories at Camping World, sponsoring this year's 2017 Firecracker Tournament. Good night.
Good night, Tom. Folks, we'll see you tomorrow night, roughly around 7. ESPN Radio Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. For my partner, Tom Rudabush, for our director of Hardhats TV, Destin Human, this is Mark Benetti saying so long. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow for our 6th game of Firecracker Tournament.